Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode. This is actually one of the most inspiring, one of my personal favorite podcasts we've done so far, presenting the absolutely beautiful and stunning Tina.
Hi there, friends! I'm Tina DAUGHTRY. I live in West Palm Beach, Florida, and I just graduated from the Florida Atlantic University with my communications degree and my theater degree. Now, what made me fall in love with acting is actually not the actors on TV or on stage, it was actually the creative team, like the writers, for example. And back when I was in fifth grade, I would watch TV shows and I just loved the comedy and I wanted to create comedy and do that. So back in 2010, I started writing comedy and it was super cheesy, but obviously as you keep going along with your journey, you get more experience. And to me, now it's just all natural now. But the hardest part of my career is being accepted into shows and whatnot. I mean, that is the hardest thing ever of all. But in the end of the day, it's all a journey. It's such a big journey. And what I end up planning to do is I plan to take my own and create my own, you know, production company possibly. That's after I get money. But in the end of the day, the best artists do not let the word no bring them down. Screw them all, here goes nothing. If I do an audition and I'm happy with my audition but I don't get the part, I still celebrate that because that is already a milestone in your progress. And one day it will come. Just never give up. And that's what I was taught, that's what I've experienced. Now, the proudest moment I've had in life was actually the very first show I've ever gotten into. It was the show 9 to 5, the musical, written by yours truly, Dolly Parton, at the Florida Atlantic University. And I was just ensemble, but just ensemble, you're in the show. And it was such a cool experience because for the first time ever, I saw an audience. And there was moments when I even just stood there after bows and I was just taking it all in. And I had to get pulled off stage because of it, but that was when I was like, this is what I want to do. This is it. You know, I've seen it on TV, I've seen it on stage all the time, but now that I'm experiencing it, this is it. My advice that I would give to new actors would be yourself, have fun, celebrate every single audition, whether you get it or not. Screw them all, here goes nothing, which means if you like your own work, then celebrate that. Celebrate you. Another thing that I would suggest is obviously get training, make theater friends, talk to them, work with them, learn the whole spiel of everything, and definitely try to get in contact with, older people that's been in it longer so you can have inspirations yourself. Always have an inspiration on TV as well and on stage. Listen to Broadway music and just turn into a theater kid. Turn into a total theater kid. It's so much fun. We're the quirkiest group of people on this planet. They always say, no matter what career you have, always hire a theater kid. You need that for your mental health wherever you're at. My biggest inspiration is the lovely Tina Fey, pun intended, considering I'm Tina. My dream is to write, direct, produce, and create comedy. That is something that Tina Fey does. However, one day she's gonna have to retire. She got kids and her own life. So I'm over here about to say, it's okay, world. Tina's here. But that's what I want to do. I want to be able to make my own company, production company, make it on SNL, and take on the whole world and just become the best comedian ever. And I want to be hilarious for all ages, all experiences, all cultures as well. My family does support me in acting. It took them a little bit, but You know, what can parents say when you get a communications degree and then ask your parents, hey, I'm a theater minor, can I turn that into a BA degree? I mean, I already have one in my back pocket. So, I mean, the thought of having a communications degree along with a theater degree is I do have a backup, which is very solid, very broad, and there is such thing as the theater survival job, which is when you have a job on top of being an actor, because it does take a very long time to get discovered. And I mean, people like Tina Fey didn't get discovered till what, her 40s or something? I mean, Google your most biggest inspirations, see when they got discovered. You don't have to be discovered at age 12 or age 18 or age 24, not even age 30. It just takes time. It's the artists who do not give up. I would describe myself in 3 words: is quirky, goofy, and super, super hyper. I have ADHD really, really bad, if you noticed, but I kind of use that as my advantage. Plus, I love it. I mean, you gotta accept yourself and who you are. What would you do? Wait, would you feel about doing steamingly scenes, like steamy scenes? Actually, I mean, that's when it comes to a proper intimacy director, you know, and it's about you knowing your own boundaries. You want to be comfortable on stage, you know, if you're not open to nudity, it is okay to say no. And there's a lot of directors out there that think that having boundaries is an issue, but it's not. It's called being human. If you are comfortable with maybe being touched in one way but not the other, express that to your fellow actors so you guys can create the best production ever. Because in the end of the day, you guys are all here to create art. And when you tell a castmate about some of your boundaries, and they can be different every single day, and that's okay, that's how you know that, hey, this person in my show wants to create great art, and these are their lines. And that is perfectly fine. Saying no is okay, and that's one big thing that I was definitely taught at Florida Atlantic, and that's huge in my theater department. Very huge. You want to be treated properly, and you want to be able to be comfortable with talking to someone like a choreographer, or if you're very lucky to have an intimacy director, that would be a very good way to go. I actually know a very good intimacy director if you want me to, you know, give her information to you. My top 5 best actors is obviously Tina Fey, Amy Poehler, Maya Rudolph. I love Jimmy Fallon, Adam Sandler. I mean, best comedians all right there. Boom, boom, boom. I mean, that's gold right there. I want to join that pact. You know, that's my dream. I would always love to see myself on Saturday Night Live. My most embarrassing moments in the acting world was actually not even on stage. I have a BA degree, so that means half your degree is split theater tech, and the other half is split performance, which is pretty epic, because I could audition for a show, and if I don't get it, I'll just be like, oh cool, see you backstage. And so for those actors that are auditioning for universities for their BFA degree, if you do not get it, go for the BA degree, because it's worth it. It's diverse. It will work for you. But just fight for those classes that you want to take, and fight very hard for yourself, because college is all about advocating for yourself. That's what it's all about, and that's what the real world is all about, and that's what acting is. It's advocating for yourself. It's giving, receiving, and advocating for yourself. But the most embarrassing part that I've had in my career happened. I was the electrician for the Florida Atlantic show of Rent the Musical, a classic. And apparently my dyslexic self read the whole electric grid wrong, and I caused a fire and burned it. Burned some of the lights. It was crazy. But we were able to fix it. I had to spend 2 nights, well, 2 days, including all night, to be able to completely reverse the light grid and replace some light bulbs. Luckily, my dad's a master electrician. He doesn't do show lights, but he was able to steer me the right way to all the way to opening night. But it did slow down our tech week, which was pretty epic. Another embarrassing thing that's happened to me is one time backstage during our show 9 to 5, we actually had a flood happen. It wasn't even me actually, but it was pretty embarrassing just to all of us, to our whole cast. A pipe broke and all the flooding happened. It went all the way to our ankles, and it was the Titanic backstage. And the whole time we were acting on stage like nothing was going on. It was a full house audience, and we came out at the end of the show from backstage with our families in the lobby soaking wet, and they're like, "What happened, y'all?" We're like, "The Titanic has hit." Some of my best memories there, actually. One thing that I knew before I started acting was I'm not going to do a job that involves math. Math. M-A-T-H. Mental abuse to humans. That's just not me. And I've always knew I was outgoing. I always knew I had just trouble sitting in an office space 24/7. And acting attracted me in that way also. And now this is what I do. I actually just got my very first job after graduation, and I'm going to be a stage manager for the local DAUGHTRY Beach Playhouse here in South Florida, and I am so excited! It's going to be exciting. I mean, I get to be part of the production, and that's what it's all about. If you don't get into a show, don't be afraid to say, "Hey, can I run crew this show so my name's on the playbill too?" Because that gets you involved in shows, and sooner or later, it builds up the resume. Because we all know our resumes are pretty hungrier than ourselves, actually. But in the end, I see myself in 5 years as happy. You don't have to be rich. As long as you're happy, in my opinion, that's what really matters. I mean, I would love to be successful, but that's what all of our goals are, right? So, I mean, me being a person just from graduation, my overall goal is to be happy, and from there, get successful, keep working at it, keep training, because I'm done with school now, but that don't mean I can't still be training. You always want to learn new things, because the world is changing 24/7, and the theater world's job is to always be open to that so people can learn from the theater. Well, I'm also a person that went to Talent Inc. recently in the past year, and it was so exciting. It was so cool to meet people from all over the world that want to do the same thing that you want to do. And it was amazing to just talk about our talents and take over a whole hotel and just totally just enjoy ourselves. It was amazing. I decided to go there actually for that reason, to expand my networking and my horizons and get in front of some agents, whether they choose me or not. Because like I said, if I'm happy with what I did, then it's awesome. And there's those times when you're not happy, but guess what? That's when you gotta dust the dirt off, get back up, and keep going, because we're human. We are not going to be perfect every single time. There's no such thing as a perfect human in the first place, and that's okay. Everything is okay, and it's all about a mindset. It's all about a mindset. My slogan is grind till you shine, which means work hard, play hard, win. And it's because I have a background in sports as well. I do recommend Talent Inc. actually, because if you are young, or if you are in college, or even if you are in your 30s or 40s and you just want to get involved into the theater world and you do not know how, that's a good start, because you'll be able to talk to people of all ages and ask them, "Hey, what should I do?" Well, one of the answers is sign up for classes just anywhere. Local community theater, camps, just go on Google. Things can work. Maybe go to a local university, talk to some theater kids during a show. Not during a show, but at their show, you know. My greatest moment is right now, living in the present moment. I'm super excited. This was such an honor.